Hi, everybody. I know it's really late, but this was a good time for me. So, Mary Jo had asked me to share a little bit about why I give probiotics to my kids. And I thought, well, it's kind of late. People probably won't see this video live, but you can always watch it over the next couple of days. My husband is a med student, and I'm just somebody who loves nutrition. And I had been researching probiotics and their benefits for a long time. And I've found a lot of really neat research about the impact that a good, healthy gut has on children as they grow up. It can actually really help with preventing issues that a lot of people struggle with, like allergies. A lot of people think allergies are just normal part of life, but it actually is really connected to your gut health, and that's something that starts as young as when you're an infant. Another one is autism. They're finding a lot of links with gut health and autism, and a lot of children who have autism also struggle with bathroom issues, and so there are just a lot of things that tie together that probiotics really, really help with. And then just the immune system in general. About 80% of our immune system comes from our gut bacteria. And so many children are given antibiotics a lot as a child. You know, kids get ear infections, kids get little colds, kids get sick, and then they go to the doctor and doctor prescribes an antibiotic. Well, it's actually statistically shown that kids get more antibiotics in the first 5 years of their life than they do the rest of their life combined. And that can really, really devastate their healthy bacteria for their life. And so it's so important to replenish good bacteria, especially if children have been treated with antibiotics that have damaged their good bacteria along with the bad. And also, I think a lot of people don't know this, but children have to inherit a healthy microbiome from their mother. So if they come out of the womb and they've been treated with antibiotics during labor, maybe mom had beta strep, or if maybe mom just didn't have a very healthy lifestyle, maybe mom took a lot of medications and ate a lot of sugar and didn't really get a lot of good probiotics in her diet, that's something that the baby takes on when they're born. And so they start off life without a very healthy, strong immune system too. So this may be totally brand new information for you, or this may be stuff that you already knew. But I know that for me, when I first started looking into it, it was really mind-blowing. And the biggest thing I can say is really avoiding those antibiotics unless you're certain that the child has a bacterial infection. It's really unfortunate, but it's common for a doctor to prescribe an antibiotic even if a child has a virus, just because either they think mom's not going to leave the doctor's office without something in her hand, so you got to give her something, or they think, well, it could be a virus, could be a bacteria, we'll just write the antibiotic just to be safe. Well, it's really not the safest choice. A lot of the time an infection will resolve itself in a week with or without an antibiotic. And then by giving the antibiotic, you're killing both the bad bacteria and the good. And like I said, setting the kid up for a lifetime of struggling with allergies and, behavioral and mood issues, and certainly a weakened immune system. So I feel very strongly about giving my kids probiotics. I've looked at several brands, and I had several trusted friends who had tried lots of different probiotics, and when they put their kids on Probio 5 from Plexus, it was a huge difference. Specifically, a good friend of mine whose babies just really struggle with eczema. Part of that's because mom didn't have great gut health when she was pregnant with them and when they were born, and so they were having bad issues with eczema. And they'd been on several other probiotics, but when she got them on Probio 5, that was a game changer. And the biggest difference with Probio 5 is that it has enzymes and antifungals that go in and destroy harmful yeast and fungus while replenishing good bacteria. Most probiotics you'll find at the drugstore over the counter, they have a few strains of good bacteria. Maybe they even have billions and billions of live cells, but they don't have anything that goes in and destroys the bad yeast and fungus first. And you really can't overpower the bad with the good until you kind of kill off the bad. That's something that Probio 5 does really uniquely. And then just real quick, Mary Jo was wanting me to talk about like how I give it to my kids. I think most people are familiar with the fact that breastfeeding really helps strengthen children's immune system. And I'm unable to breastfeed because I am a mastectomy patient and I can't breastfeed. So really early on, I knew that I wanted to do something to help my kids get some of the same benefits since I couldn't breastfeed. And that's when I started looking into probiotics a lot. And talked to our pediatrician and several other doctors. And what I found was that the people who were medically trained, like had gone to medical school, didn't have an overabundance of knowledge when it came to probiotics and other natural remedies. And now that my husband is in medical school, and I hope, if you're a doctor or a medical person, you can probably relate to this. My husband's in medical school now, and they spend a lot of time learning about drugs and learning about symptoms and learning how to manipulate symptoms, but they don't spend a lot of time learning about getting to the root issue that's causing those symptoms. And he even said they had a really, really pathetic little tiny portion of their schooling that was about nutrition. And nutrition is such a big part of it. It's such a big reason why we're all so sick in the first place. So anyway, I didn't feel like the pediatrician and the other doctors I talked to were a great resource for it. They were certainly for probiotics and thought they were great, but they didn't have a lot of information for me about specific types of probiotics. Now, one friend I talked to did recommend that I go find a master herbalist. She said that's somebody who has really studied herbal remedies, and they're going to have a wealth of knowledge about probiotics and that kind of stuff. And so I consulted a friend of mine. Her name is Christy Dafter, and she is a master herbalist and live blood morphologist. And I asked her what she thought about giving probiotics to babies. And she said, I strongly recommend it, but I recommend finding a brand that you're very confident in their quality and purity so that you know that the probiotic and any of the ingredients aren't contaminated or adulterated, because as most of us know, vitamins and supplements are not regulated by the FDA. The FDA regulates food and drugs, but they actually don't regulate vitamins and supplements. So you have to really be careful that you're purchasing vitamins and supplements that are high quality from a trusted brand, not just any vitamin and supplement. So she said, I definitely recommend probiotics for children. I think it is good to do from birth on, she said. And so I said, okay, so day we bring them home to the hospital, from the hospital, we're going to do this. And I asked her to go ahead and tell me a few brands that she trusted. And she said she trusted Plexus ProBio 5, which I was thrilled about because it was one that I had already looked into and felt really good about. And the other one she said was the raw Garden of Life powder probiotic. She said was another decent one. So, I felt really good about having, a good approval from doctors and a really strong recommendation from her about the specific type of probiotic that would be good to use. And then also the stories of a few of my really close friends who had tried several other over-the-counter brands and felt like Plexus really, really made the difference for them. And then another couple Plexus products that my children love are the chewable vitamin, which is amazing because it has no artificial colors, no artificial sweeteners, no GMOs. It is one of the highest quality I've seen, way better than Flintstone vitamins. If you look at the label on Flintstones, you will be shocked. So they love the family chewable vitamins, and then they also really love Mega X, which is a omega, like a fatty acid supplement. And that is so especially good for kids who have eczema. Those kids really need a good omega. So I can't recommend Mega X enough for kids in that scenario too. So that is a little bit of information. Oh, I'll say real quick too. So since I've been giving ProBio 5 to my kids ever since birth, I start my babies off on like a 4th capsule. You can open up the ProBio 5 capsule and sprinkle a little bit into a bottle if you're using formula. If you are using pumped breast milk, then the ProBio 5 will curdle that milk. A good probiotic will curdle milk, and ProBio 5 will do that. So what I've seen friends do who are breastfeeding is either mom just takes ProBio 5 and helps baby get it through the milk, or if a mom is especially concerned, like if the baby's been on antibiotics and she really wants to replenish their gut, then usually just open up the capsule and sprinkle a little right on their tongue, and then just start nursing. And it doesn't have an offensive taste or anything, so really it's not usually a problem. So I open up the capsule and I sprinkle about a fourth capsule into my baby's bottle once a day and just shake it up. And then as they get a little older, I just increase the dose. And so I have also a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, and they get a whole capsule of ProBio 5 a day. And I open it up and I sprinkle it into yogurt for them. That's a really good thing to mix it into. You don't want to mix it into anything acidic like applesauce, because the acid is harmful to the bacteria. So mixing it into something like yogurt works really well. And I think that about covers it. But if you have any questions about the doses I do, or kind of how I arrived at my decision, just feel free to sound them off in the comments, and I'll be happy to share anything I can.